Hello, this is Massa again from the Great White North. Um, Today we have a very special video. I'm gonna start teaching you how to play Metazoo, and I think the first step is to go through the rulebook. I'm gonna go through the rulebook with you, and I'm gonna tell you what is important, what you need to remember, the flow of the game, and in the following video, I will show you on the card what to look for, and after we will have a one-on-one video. And the whole goal is that people want to play in our event in 1 week, uh, know how to play, even like how to start to play. You don't need to be the best in the world at Metazoo to enjoy. You can. It's very simple. You're gonna see. Okay, so let's dig into the rulebook. It's pretty long. This video might be a bit long, but I think it's more fun to take the rulebook together than to read it by yourself. Alright, so this file, by the way, you can get it on the, well, first you can get it in the release event box, and also on the Metazoo Discord. I will check if I can put a link below where you can download it, because I feel that's better than reading the small book that you get in the release box. Anyway, so that's the version 2021, right? And written by Logan, Mike, Chris, and Brian. Anyway, we don't need that. Let's move directly. How to play quick start. Okay. So first, step one: flip a coin or roll a dice, and decide who starts. So you don't roll a dice to decide who start. If you win the roll dice, you have to start. Each player, they are called caster, starts with a deck. It is called a spell book of at least 40 cards. No maximum, but you can't go lower. So how to win? So everybody starts with 1000 life point, and well, if your opponent have 0 life point, well, you win. It's pretty easy. How to start the game? Well, so you have to shuffle your deck, obviously, and then you draw your cards, your hand. It's called a chapter. So the deck is called a spellbook, the player is called a caster, your hand is called a chapter, and drawing is called bookmarking. Because everything, this whole Metazoo is like we are part of a storybook. So you shuffle your deck, you draw 7 cards, and that's your starting hand. If you don't like your hand, you can mulligan one time. But so you mulligan, you put your card back in your deck, and you draw then 6 cards. If you don't like it, you can do it again, but then 5 cards, etc. At the beginning of each of your turn, you must bookmark one page, so draw one card from the top of your deck, and awaken all your fatigued pages. We will talk about that. So even if you start the game, even if you are the first player, so you have your 7 cards and you draw 1 card. And then it's your turn, and then it's the opponent's turn, and he has 7 cards in hand, and he will draw 1 card. So it's not because you are the first one to play that you don't draw a card at the beginning. It's different from Magic the Gathering. Where is it? Awaken all your fatigued pages are cards, and fatigue it when they are tapped, and awaken is when you untap them. So you beginning of your turn, you draw a card and you untap all your cards. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you need to do that. So then 7, place. It's called contract. When you play a card from your hand, it's called you contract. You contract a page. So you can contract aura pages in the arena. So aura pages are like mana in Magic. So they are like land. So you can play 1 aura per turn. So it's called contract. So I will say contract. You can contract 1 aura per turn, and you can fatigue them, so tap them to get some resource to pay to cast beasties, artifact, potions, spell, and things like that. So yeah, only one per turn, and that's all. So this is this is pretty similar to Magic. If you know how to play Magic, this is pretty simple. So you shuffle your deck, you choose who start first, and then the first player draw a card. So now you have 8 cards, and you can play one aura, and then you can play some creatures, and we will see how. And you can attack, we will see how, and then that's the opponent turn. So let's go next. General rules. Oh, there is more points. Pages stay where they are played. Okay, so that's kind of a special rule of Metazoo. So if you put a card at one place on your playmat, you cannot move it after. So this is important because some cards check where the other cards are placed. So this is kind of a very specific Metazoo rule. Unless otherwise stated, all pages enter the arena fatigue, so tapped. Other than Aura and Terra, which enter the arena awaken. We will see what Terra is later. When a page is used to generate Aura, attack, defend, or use a power, you must fatigue it, turn it 90 degrees. So anytime you use one of your card to do something, one of your card on your battlefield, you have to tap it. It's very similar to the card game. And if it's already tapped or fatigued, you can't do it again until it's awakened, and that's at the beginning of the turn. Aura pages can be fatigued on the opponent turn, so you can tap for resources during your opponent turn. For beasties and artifacts, it does not cost any aura to attack, defend, or activate power, but you must fatigue them, so same, you must tap them. It doesn't cost anything. At least until now. Maybe there will be more cards in following sets where it costs something to attack or something like that. If a page life point becomes 0 at any time, it is destroyed. That's important. Because you don't get your life, your creature beasties your beasties don't get their life back at the beginning of the turn. So let's say you have a beastie. Let me grab the beastie. Let's say you have the Swan Priestess. She has 50 life point. Well, if she get dealt 30 damage, you put a marker to show that she got 30 damage, and those markers come in the spell book. And you can actually also buy them on the marketplace. And then it stays there. So that the next turn, if she gets 20 more damage, she started at 50, she took 30, 20, she's dead. So that's also kind of specific to Metazoo. Let me go back to the list. When a spell or option is contracted, it is placed into the cemetery. We will see. So there is 2 cemeteries. There is Limbo for creature and cemetery for like spell and potion. We will see once we look at the playmat. All pages and effects resolve in a first in, last out order, similar to Magic and most of the cards. If more than one effect will activate simultaneously at the start of or end of the turn, the active player gets to choose in which order they resolve. Next, you may contract Terra during your turn for no aura costs. Any Terra in the arena can be used to activate the force wall effects. So we will see Terra are things like night time or snow. They are not cards that give you resources, they are cards that change your environment. Like if you have a Mossman, he becomes stronger if it's a night. But you can play a Terra card that will make the night happen. So even if it's not the night in real, you can create it with this kind of force wall card, and they are in one place in the playmat, and I think we will see this very soon. Well, more points. Any damage dealt to pages or caster remains between turns. Yeah, I told you that. If a caster has 0 page in their spellbook, so no card in your deck, they don't lose the game. You may have a side deck, sideboard deck, with a maximum number of 15 cards alongside your deck. Pages from your spellbook, your deck, may be swapped with pages from your side deck between matches, but the total number of cards in your spellbook and side deck must remain the same. You are unable to change the pages in your side deck during a game. So this is also different from Magic. So let's say you have 40 cards in your deck and 15 cards in your sideboard. When you sideboard, you need to come back to 40 cards in your deck. You can't just say, okay, well, I have too many cards, I'm just going to play with 45. This is not legal and you get a game loss. All unspelled generated aura disappears at the end of turn in which it was generated. That's also pretty standard. The controller of the action that would initiate a coin flip or roll of dice would perform the coin flip or roll of dice. So a lot of cards have effect decided by rolling a dice or flipping a coin. It is the controller of the action that initiate this coin flip that actually do the coin flip. So let's say I attack you with a card that say, well, you flip a coin, if it's head, your monster is paralyzed. If I am the attacker, I flip the coin. Alright, okay, page type, that's something that you need to know. So this is Sam Sinclair. This is a rare card, you see this is gold here. If it's silver, it's an unco. If it's bronze, it's a common. Here you have the card type, so that's a beastie, so it's a creature. You can have spell, you can have potion. Then you have the tribe. So let's say if you want to make a goblin deck, it needs to be written goblin here. Sam is a humanoid, and actually he's a hero of the comic, so that's pretty cool. And then you have the name, number per spell book. So you can play only one card with this name per deck. So this is important, and that's the cost, aura cost. So you see you have here you have 1 gray and 2, this is called light. We will see the different aura. So if you want to cast this card, you need to have 1 neutral resource. So it means a resource of any type. It could be light, it could be dark, it could be fire, it could be anything, and 2 of the light type. So it costs 3 in total. 2 light, 1 of anything. And his life point is 90, and here you can have what they are called trait. So for example, you can have a first strike, you can have a flee that allow you to fly, you can have stone skin that make you stronger. So also it's something we will see later, and you know, you just bring your book. I don't expect any of you to learn all of that, all the different trait point, but like for example this Swamp Princess. If you see, no, not here, the other finger. If you see in this corner, she have a little ghost. It means she's a spirit, which means she's kind of intangible and you can't attack her. So that's very powerful. Then under that you have forceful effect in this area. I hope you can see my cursor. And here you see sun 25. It means if it's sunny, you get 25 more attack. And in competitive play, that means that if you have a Terra, so Terra are the cards, like I told you, and we will see them, that change the environment. If you have a Terra, I forgot how it's called, shiny day or something like that, that shows that it's a day and it's shiny, then you get this effect. Mossman, for example, here you have the dark symbol, and it means if it's dark outside you get a boost, or if you have a Terra that says it's nighttime you get a boost. Then you have the metadata, you know, like his height, his weight, where he's from, date of birth, and then you have the text that change for every card, and you have the attack. So I think for now every card have only 1 attack. His name, the attack name is Holy Shot, and this is just 20 damage, and it have a strength, and we will see that later. You see strength, and this symbol mean dark, which means that it does 20 damage, but if he's fighting against a dark creature, he will do even more. We'll see that later. Then you have the edition symbol, this first edition. For the second, third, fourth edition, there will be no symbol here apparently. Flavor text, and here you have something that protect you from forgery. If it's a star, that means that's a holo rare. If it's uncommon or common reverse foil, it's like a small ball. It looks like a ball to me. And if it's a box stopper, they look a bit different. Yeah, so that's how the card is structured. So the different type of card. Okay, you have aura. That's what I told you. Those are land. Let me grab some card actually. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So I just wanted to show you like aura page look like that. This is a water aura. This is a frost aura. So this is what gives you the resources. This is like land in Magic. This gives you resource to play cards. Then you have beasties, and those are monsters. And I'm gonna show my favorite one, Loveland Frogman. So those are beasties, are the monster, and yeah, here they explain. But that's typically what we just saw in the previous card. You have spell. Let me grab a spell. Alright, this is a spell. I don't know if you can see. It's written spell on the top, sun wipe. So you see these have no life or anything, but it still have a cost here. It costs 1 forest. So spell are just like effects. They have a cost and they do something. So it costs 1 forest, so you need to have 1 forest aura, fatigue it, so tap it, and then you can play it. So what else do they say here? Spell, yeah, and when you resolve a spell, it goes in the cemetery. Cemetery is for the spells. Blah blah blah. Potion. I don't have any potion. Costing 0 to contract. This single-use page have a similar function to spell. You don't really need to worry about it. Spell, potion, it's kind of the same. Artifact. Artifact is actually interesting. I don't know if I have one here. Let me check. Artifacts are items that you play. However, so like this is the red crystal. So you can play it, cost 0. Focus. But you see it have 50 in the corner. It means have 50 life points. So big difference with this game is like the opponent can attack artifacts and destroy them. And that's very strong. Because like otherwise those crystals, if you could not attack them, they would be too much powerful. They're already very powerful, but they would be just like too much. So if your opponent, he start and he play a chaos crystal, which is like the most powerful one, you can actually attack it, and if you do enough damage, you're gonna destroy it. So you should put your resource into this, because otherwise you will have 4 resources on turn 2 where you have only 1. So that's good. It's kind of like a land destruction kind of thing. Next, Terra. Okay. Perhaps the most important piece of your spellbook. Terra allows you to define the fourth wall features of the arena when they are lacking in your surrounding. There are only 6 Terra slots in the arena, so there can only be 6 Terra pages in the arena at any given time. Once and if a 7th Terra page is placed in the arena, the oldest Terra page is placed into the afterlife and the 7th Terra page takes its place. The cycle continues indefinitely as you and your opponent attempt to dominate the available Terra slot. You will never have more than 6 in a game. I think that's very rare. But so those cards are, like I told you, you can change, you can make it dark, you can make it snowy. Like this is the Terra of snowing. So if you play this one, and it doesn't count as your aura, so you can play it anytime. It doesn't do anything, but it make it snowing. And in kind of a weird way, if you play like nighttime and and sun. I forgot how it's called. Daytime. This is daytime. It will be daytime and nighttime at the same time. So there is nothing like push the other. It's just like if you play enough, if you play more than 6, they're gonna be pushed over, and then the first one that you play disappear. Um, so in competitive play, I don't really like to use actually, what is surrounding me, because I feel that's kind of not something I can control. So those Terra allow you to do that. If you play a Mossman, well, you want it to be dark, so you play some Terra that will make it nighttime. Alright, so the different aura type. It's like, the different type of Pokemon, or the different mana in Magic. So this symbol, green, is cosmic. You have dark with this symbol, earth, this symbol, flame, this symbol, forest in green, frost with this symbol and this card color, light, uh, lightning, yellow, neutral, which means it doesn't have any type, spirit, all the ghostly stuff, water. And so you see, like, typically in a deck, you can usually play 2. It's kind of hard to play 3, but you can choose a combination of 2 of those. Let's say you do a lot of people do flame and forest, or I'm trying to do water and frost. So you have many combinations, and it's kind of fun. Um, Alright, next page you have the Battleground. Um, so we are trying to get some playmats. I didn't receive my playmat yet to show you a real one, so we are going to do a digital. So this is how it looks. One player on the bottom and the other player on the other side. You put your deck here, you put your side deck here. I mean, you can put it somewhere else, it's not that important. You play your card in this area here, and sorry, and then you have all those 3 are different discard pile or different graveyard. So the cemetery is where the spell go when they are, used. The the limbo is when creature go when they die, and afterlife is like if a creature die and something happen, or like typically if something go to afterlife, it can never come back. So this is kind of removed from the game. If it's in the limbo, if you play necromancy, you can bring it back, but afterlife you cannot. And you see this whole area, this is Terra. So this is where you and your opponent kind of, fight on what's the environment. So that's where you can play, those oh, I play an island because I want our arena to be an island, or I want it to be daytime, or I want it to be nighttime, or I want it to be snowy. So you play those. You start from the right, and then you play one more, one more, one more. And if there is more than 6, you won't play one here. You remove the first one and you put it here. But most of deck play maximum 3 because those cards do nothing on their own. So you don't want to have too many. I think 3 is kind of the max. 3, 4 maybe. So I mean, if you have 3 in your deck, your opponent have 3. It's gonna be hard to have 7. All right. Yeah, this is what I explain you. They explain as a different area. Then we have the part on kind of a summary of how to play Metazoo. So win condition, you both start with 1000 life points. If one of the players have 0, well, he's dead and you win. Setup, well, you choose who play first, you shuffle your deck, you draw 6 cards, you can mulligan, and then you flip a coin, you roll a dice, whatever you want, you decide who play first. So turn, pretty much what I said before. So you start with drawing a card from your deck, and then you have those following action. You can contract, so play one aura page into the arena, so only one per turn. It's important. You can play Terra pages. So Terra are things like that. So let's say you can play this, and now there will be a lightning storm, and all the cards that say if there's a lightning storm around you, well, they get boost from this lightning storm, but they don't provide any aura, so you're not going to have too many in your deck. You can play a trap page. So trap page are cards that you put. Let's say you have a Mossman, and the Chupacabra can actually be a trap. So you can play it under Mossman. I mean, it's kind of an advanced technique, and it's few cards. But and if the opponent attack Mossman, you can reveal Chupacabra. You have to pay its cost, so it costs 2 dark. And then Chupacabra will be the defender. I'm not going to talk too much about trap today. You can contract a page from your chapter, so playing a beastie, playing a spell. You can use power if you have some card that have some powers. You can move a face down trap page, so you can move it from one card to another. And you can declare an attack and resolve combat, which is like the big part. And then at the end of the turn, becomes the opponent turn, he draw his card, he awaken all his cards, and that's his turn. And then you're gonna do the same, play an aura, maybe play a Terra, probably not, and then you can play some creatures and then attack, and back and forth. Turn step, it's more or less what I just told you, just it's written in more detail. Combat, okay, combat is the important part. So to combat, let's say we have our Mossman, and you're gonna attack. So you fatigue it to attack. So you tap it, and then you select a target. So you can attack the opponent, and so Mossman do 100 damage. His attack. Oops. So if I attack the opponent, well, the opponent loses 100 damage. You can't do anything about it. Or you can attack creatures. Oops. Oops. So let's say I'm attacking with my Mossman, I'm attacking Bigfoot. If the defending player do nothing, Bigfoot become the defender. Mossman have priority, the attacker always have priority. He does 100 damage to Bigfoot. Bigfoot have only 80 life points, so he's dead. So he's not attacking back. If he had more life points, Mossman attack. If Bigfoot survive, let's say it's another card and you have more life point, and then Bigfoot attack back and do whatever damage. What's his card? 50 damage. He will do 50 damage to Mossman, but he doesn't get tapped, so that's important. That's the really basic attack defense stuff. Now let's go into something a bit more complicated. I'm attacking with my Mossman, and the opponent, I'm attacking his Bigfoot. All right. And I have this other card. That can be any creature. This monster. So I have those two green monsters on my battlefield. I can say if this one is not tapped, so if he's awake, I can tap it and say I'm defending Bigfoot with it. So what happened is, then it's Mossman's turn to decide how he do his 100 point of damage, and he can put everything on this one, or he can put well, you have to divide them. You have to put at least 5 on each creature, and you can't divide any number you want. It have to be an increment of 5. So let's say 100. You can do you could do like 70 damage on him and 30 on Bigfoot or something like that. But what happened is, so the attacker decide where the damage go, and then if I tap this and I say he is defender, I choose which either Bigfoot or this card does the attack back. So let's say if this guy have a very strong attack, I can say, okay, I'm come here, you don't kill me, and then I attack back, and then you can deal more damage to Mossman. It is not a very good example because Bigfoot have a pretty good attack, but let's say you had something like, okay, Mossman is attacking Chupacabra. Chupacabra have only an attack of 20. Uh, so if you attack back, I mean, you have to survive Mothman, which is hard, but if you attack back, it will do only 20. But if I have another card that is stronger, sorry, that would be here. Yeah, yep, up. And I can say that this monster is coming to defend Chupacabra, and then I choose him to do the defense, and you see the attack is 40 damage. So then it will do this 40 damage instead of doing this 20. So typically, yeah, when you attack, you choose where the damage go. When you're the defender, you choose if you defend just with the creature that is being attacked, or if you want to defend with more creature. So what do they say here in the text? Say the target, blah blah blah. You may select a caster, an opposing caster beastie. You can attack artifact, like I say, and they can't really defend themselves because they don't have any power. So you can attack a shard to try to destroy it. You flip any face down trap page that are under the card that you have attacking. So this is a bit advanced, I'm not going to talk about it. So opposing caster of the target page may fatigue any number of beasties to become defender. That's what I told you. If no defenders are declared, the page that is being attacked automatically becomes a defender. So that's what I told you. Well, we're not going to talk about first strike now. So attacker resolve attack effect, if you have some weakness on strength, it's gonna do more damage. If the defender with a chosen attack is not destroyed, resolve the attack effect. They don't say much more, but they have more. This is like the basic, simple, but they have the more advanced. But typically, you attack with one creature, another creature, you hit first, and the defender can choose to defend with only one creature, or he can defend with other creature. If you defend with more than one creature, the attacker decides how the damage goes, and the defender decides which of the defender does the attack back onto the attacker. Yeah, and there is this also very cool thing that is called weakness and strength. This is similar to Pokemon a bit. So every different aura have weakness and strength. Flame is strong against forest and snow, and they are strong against water, and they are strong against earth, which is strong against lightning, which is strong against water. And Sepa, like, those are like the main element, and you have those like kind of weird element. There is cosmic, it's strong against spirit, and this is dark and light. They are both strong against each other, which is weird. So they hate each other, and spirit and dark is kind of the same thing. So what happens is, like, if, let's say flame, if a flame creature attack a forest, it will do plus 20 damage. There is a damage boost. If a light attack a shadow, a dark, it will do plus 20 damage. But also when it attack back, it will also do plus 20 damage. So yeah, it's something, this aura wheel should be on the reminder card in the spell book. If you box one, I will see if it's inside. There used to be cards with all the summary. Typically, you just need 2 cards of summaries, like all the this one where they show the aura wheel, and one that summarizes the different effects that can happen on the different phase of a round. But you see, there is not much. You draw a card, you play an aura, you play a creature, you attack, and you can play some spell in the middle, and that's all. Let's talk about effect, because this is kind of complicated, and this is where like your summary card that should be in the spell book, or maybe if it's not, we will try to make one. This is hard to remember everything, so it's good to have a cheat card. So you have frozen, frozen X. If something is frozen, it is fatigued and cannot awaken until X number of turns have passed. So if you throw something 3 turns, it's going to be tapped, and it cannot untap and do anything for 3 turns. So that's extremely powerful. Burn. Burn, you can do it on beasties and on the opponent. If something is burned, it loses 20 life point every time it declares an attack. So if you burn a creature, where if it gets tapped to attack, it loses 20 life point. If you burn a player, each time one of his, when the player say, "Oh, I'm attacking with this creature," he loses 20 life point. Poison can affect beasties and caster too. If something is poisoned, it loses 10 life points each time it's been poisoned for 2 turns. You can poison up to 3 times. So like some cards say, okay, put 2 poison counter on this card, or put 1 poison counter. And at the end of your turn, you lose 10 life points for each of those counters, and at the beginning of the turn, you remove 1 poison counter, if I remember. Also, like those are at the end of the manual. They have like 1 page on each of them, and you can really get all the detail. Paralyze is something super strong. Because it's strong, it doesn't always work. You have to flip a coin to see if it holds. If you win the coin flip, so if it's head, paralyze shut down all your effects and make you open to a full on attack. If you paralyze a creature, it loses all its text. It cannot attack back, it loses all its property, and so you can just kill it and be happy with it. Sleep is something a bit similar. When something is asleep, it is fatigue, so you tap it, and it cannot attack because it's already tapped, and it doesn't untap. However, to make something sleep, any card that say target beastie get sleep, put a sleep token on target beastie, you have to flip a coin, same. And a difference between paralyze is that if you attack a creature with sleep, it wake up. It takes double damage, but it does wake up. Where paralyze, it never wake up. I mean, it just when the paralyze token expire, well, then the creature behave normally. Scare, it can affect beasties, and same, you must flip a coin to see if it holds. If something is scared, you have to flip a coin whenever it will be fatigued to see if it flees back into your hand. So if a creature is scared, each time you tap it, you flip a coin. If you lose, it comes back to your hand. If you win, it's still scared. So the next time you're gonna tap it, it might come back to your hand. Confusion. So that's something that I kind of like. If a creature is confused, each time it attacks, you flip a coin. If you lose, it does the damage to itself, and it's no more confused. If you win, it does the damage normally, but it's still confused. So the next time you attack, you're gonna have to do it again. Threat. Yeah, threat are like some cards have some boost depending on the force wall symbol. So like Mossman, for example. You can see here there's a dark symbol on 25, so attack become plus 25 if it's a knight, and there's a city. If you're in a city, it gets plus 25, and this can be achieved either if it's in your surrounding or if you play Terra. Let me find a knight. Oh well, I found city. If you play a city Terra, then your Mossman will get the plus 25 damage. In a competition, depending on, there is 2 formats. There is one where you actually take into account everything that is around, but it also depends on the tournament organizer. Me, the rule that I like is that I want to deal only with a card on the table, because then I feel it's more fair. But yeah, so in a tournament, you would need to have the city to get the boost, and you can't just say, "Oh, I am in a city, so I have the boost." But this is, that depends on which level you want to play. Then advanced rules, not much here. Mulligan, yeah, we know what it is. They have more detail on combat. You can read it if you want. Side deck, I think we went through that. Trap card. I think you can read it, but it's kind of second level stuff. Terra, that's what I told you. So that's things like city, lightning storm, meteor shower, daytime. Those are cards that you play to change your environment, and they give a bonus to your other card. Um, Running out of pages if you have no more card in your deck. You don't lose the game. You just continue to play. If both players have no card in their deck, so that's a draw. Effects in detail, so all the frozen and burn and stuff like that are explained very well here with example, so just better you just read it. Threats in detail, so bloodsucker, for example, chupacabra is bloodsucker. If you can see, yep, here on the top. It means whenever a beastie with this threat deals damage, it recovers life point equal to the damage dealt. Burrow is one effect, one trait that if a card has Burrow, it can hide at the beginning of a turn until the end of the turn. When it's hidden, nobody can attack it. It cannot do anything, but nobody can attack it, or you can't cast spells that target it. Convert is very useful, and there are several good cards that have it, but I don't have one in front of me. If you have, let's say, a flame creature with convert, it means you can tap it to get one flame resource, the same as the aura. Destroyer, if a creature with destroyer deals damage to another creature, the other creature is just destroy and therefore go to the limbo. Defender, it means during the opponent turn, so when you are the defender, this creature have double life point. Just remember that damage stay on the creature, so if you have a creature with 50 life point, it becomes 100. If it gets dealt 50 damage, you put 50 damage counter on the card, and then when it's your turn, the 100 life point become back 50, and then the creature die. Fear is really strong. Most mana have fear, and when a beastie with this trait is contracted, you may target a beastie. So just you play the card, you target any other monster, you flip a coin. If you win, the other monster come back to the opponent's hand. So that's a very good 2-for-1. First strike is important. So you know I said when you attack, you have priority. So you do the damage first to the defender. That except if the defender has first strike, and in that case the defender hit first. So that's a very strong keyword. If both cards have defender, the attacker on the defender, then you flip a coin to see who attack first. Flash, when a card has flash, when it's contracted into the arena, you flip a coin, and if it's head, if you win, the card that you targeted cannot declare any attack until the end of its caster next turn. Fleet is like haste in Magic. So your card, like I said, they always arrive fatigue, so tapped. Like most man doesn't arrive like that, he arrives like that. But if he had fleet, he would arrive straight like that, and then he can attack directly. So that's very strong. Flight, if a card, so Mossman have a lot. He have a lot of them. Mossman. He have flight, so he's flying. So he can be attacked only by creature with flight, obviously. Magic proof means that it cannot be targeted by spell. Immortal means that it cannot die. There are very few cards with that. Infectious is kind of weird. There is this card Squonk, is one that have that. So if you have a card with infection, if it kills an opponent creature, well, it creates kind of a zombie of this creature and on your side of the table with the same maximum life point, the same attack, with damage and strength equal to the printing damage and of attack of this beastie. So it's really like a clone kind of, except it's like a zombie. Invisible. So if you have a card that is invisible, it cannot be attacked, and if it attacks, it cannot be hit back. Regeneration. If you have regeneration, you recover. The card recover 10 life points every turn until the end until it have max life point. Spirit, so like if you remember my favorite, the Swamp Princess, have spirit. Spirit means that they cannot be the target of attack, which is very good, but they can still be the target of spell though, so they can be killed like that. Stone Skin means that you can do damage to a creature with Stone Skin only with attack, not with spell. Trap, so Chupacabra is a trap card. You see here. So the trap symbol, it means that a card with a trap symbol can be played as a trap. So face down on the battlefield or under a creature. If you play a creature as a trap that doesn't have the trap symbol, you lose the game because that's cheating. And blockable, it's a bit like invisible. No defender can be declared when you attack something. The difference with invisible is invisible, nobody can attack you when it's the opponent turn, where unblockable the opponent can attack you. Venomous is if a beastie with this trait is declared as a defender, the attacking beastie is inflicted with poison 1. So poison 1, if you remember, it means you lose 10 points at the end of your turn and you remove it after 2 turns, if I remember. So you see there are a lot of those. So those should be on the cheat card that come, I believe, in the spellbook. I will do an unboxing of the spellbook for the next video. And then you have the force wall effect, that's what I told you. You can, those are all the, well, either it's in real life, and that also depends on your tournament organizer. I think it's if you want to have more fun, if it's something not very serious, you can say, okay, well, it's sunny, so it's daytime, so I get the boost of daytime. But if I want to play competitively, if I do a tournament that is competitive, I will want people to play a card that says daytime. So it puts some constraint on your deck. So you have to put those Terra cards that do those effects. They do nothing else, so they are not very impactful. But if a lot of your cards benefit from the fact that, for example, there is a mountain, a lot of cards are happy when there is a mountain. Well, in that case, I will play some Terra that play mountain, but not too many. Maybe 3 max, 3 or 4. 4 is really the max number of Terra I would play in a deck. And then there's the glossary, all the different, they explain. The manual is really good. It's a quick reference, which is what I told you about the turn order, and there is a bunch of FAQ. Also, can always ask me. I'm not yet a judge. I'm passing the exam this week, or you can go to the Metazoo Discord and ask to one of the judges. Well, I hope that give you a bit of a hint of how to play. Obviously, when you see a real game, that will help you. But I thought you have to read the rulebook, and if you are lazy, well, you can just watch this video instead. Alright, well, thanks a lot, and well, enjoy playing Metazoo. The game is awesome. Cheers!